Sami Zayn waited his entire WWE career to become world champion. Then, just 9 days later, it was over. CM Punk took the championship, WWE immediately moved toward a SummerSlam match with Cody Rhodes, and Sami appeared to be pushed out of the story almost as quickly as he had entered it. To many fans, it felt less like the beginning of a championship era and more like a brief reward before WWE returned to its usual main event stars. But Michael Cole has now made it clear that Sami Zayn's story is not finished. In fact, the loss may have been the moment WWE's real plan finally began. Sami's championship victory was designed to feel impossible. He had spent more than a decade in WWE, becoming one of the company's most emotionally connected performers without ever reaching the top of the mountain. He had been an Intercontinental Champion, a central figure in the Bloodline saga, and one of the most reliable underdogs of his generation. But every time Sami appeared close to breaking through, another name seemed to stand ahead of him. Then WWE finally delivered the moment fans had stopped expecting. Sami defeated two of the company's biggest stars, Cody Rhodes and Gunther, to capture the WWE Championship at Night of Champions. The celebration was enormous. For one night, the man who had spent years being overlooked was finally standing above everyone else. And then WWE took it away. 9 days after winning the championship, Sami lost it to CM Punk on Raw. The title change immediately divided wrestling fans. Some viewed the victory as a long overdue acknowledgement of Sami's career. Others believed the incredibly short reign made the entire moment feel temporary, a celebration created for one emotional reaction, rather than the beginning of a serious run. That criticism became even louder when Punk moved to SmackDown and quickly agreed to defend the championship against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Suddenly, WWE's biggest title picture appeared to be moving forward without the man who had held the championship only days earlier. Sami had gone from achieving the biggest victory of his career to watching Punk and Cody occupy the position he had spent years chasing. And that is why Michael Cole's latest comments matter. Speaking about Sami's championship victory and sudden loss, Cole urged fans to remain patient. He explained that WWE produces television every week of the year, and that certain stories require time to develop. More importantly, Cole specifically described Sami's situation as a long-term story and said he believes viewers will enjoy where it goes over the coming weeks. Cole did not promise Sami another championship reign. He did not reveal an opponent. He did not confirm a SummerSlam match. But he strongly indicated that the 9-day title reign was not meant to be Sami's final destination. That changes the way his loss to CM Punk can be interpreted. The easiest version of the story would have been simple. Sami finally wins the championship, receives his career-defining moment, and then loses it to a larger attraction. End of story. But if WWE really has a long-term arc planned, the question is no longer why Sami lost so quickly. The more important question becomes, what is that loss supposed to do to him? For most of his WWE career, Sami Zayn has built his identity around being the last, genuinely good man in an increasingly selfish industry. He fights because he believes something is right. He supports people when no one else will. He keeps trusting others even when that trust repeatedly ends in betrayal. But eventually, even the most optimistic person reaches a breaking point. Imagine spending your entire career trying to prove you belong at the top. You finally win the championship. Before you have enough time to establish yourself, defend your position, or even understand what being champion means, it disappears. Then the company immediately announces that the new champion will defend against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. That is not simply a defeat. For Sami's character, it could feel like confirmation of every fear he has carried for years. Maybe WWE never truly saw him as the face of the company. Maybe the championship was never supposed to belong to him for long. Maybe he was allowed to have a moment, but never an era. That emotional conflict gives WWE several compelling directions. The first possibility is a redemption story. Sami could refuse to disappear, force his way back into championship contention, and prove that his victory was not an accident. CM Punk has already named Sami among the wrestlers he could face as champion, meaning the door to a rematch has not been completely closed. But Sami would need more than sympathy this time. He would need victories. He would need urgency. And most importantly, he would need to stop waiting for WWE to choose him. The second possibility is a darker transformation. That does not necessarily mean Sami must become a traditional villain. A more interesting direction would be allowing him to remain morally understandable while becoming increasingly angry, obsessive, and unwilling to sacrifice his own opportunities for everyone else. Sami has spent years being the dependable friend. Perhaps losing the championship after 9 days finally convinces him that being the good guy has only made him easier to overlook. That version of Sami would not need to abandon everything fans love about him. Sami, meanwhile, was also placed alongside Gunther against Punk and Cody for Saturday night's main event. That positioning keeps Sami close to every major player involved in the championship picture, even though he is not currently announced for the SummerSlam title match. And that may not be an accident. Sami has a reason to resent Punk for taking the championship. He has unfinished business with Cody after defeating him to win it. And he has history with Gunther, another man who believes he deserves a place at the top. One major confrontation could completely alter the direction of all four men. Would Sami help Punk because he still respects him? Would he target Punk because 9 days were not enough? Could frustration push him toward an alliance with Gunther? Or could WWE eventually add Sami back into the SummerSlam championship picture? None of those outcomes has been confirmed. But the pieces are close enough together that WWE clearly has options. The challenge now is making the payoff worthy of the pain. Fans are not frustrated because Sami lost a wrestling match. They are frustrated because they waited years to watch him finally become champion, only for the reign to end before it had the opportunity to become meaningful. Michael Cole is asking those fans to trust the process. That creates expectations. If WWE follows the loss with another important chapter, one that changes Sami, challenges his identity, and eventually brings him back toward the championship, then the 9-day reign could become the emotional foundation of something much bigger. But if Sami simply returns to the same supporting role he occupied before winning the title, the criticism will only become louder. Because once WWE proved Sami Zayn could stand at the top, fans were never going to be satisfied watching him quietly return to the background. Perhaps that is exactly the point. The championship did not complete Sami's story. It gave him something he now understands he cannot live without. Michael Cole did not promise that Sami Zayn would become champion again. But he did offer one important message. Do not confuse the end of the title reign with the end of the story. Sami Zayn is still involved. He is still emotionally connected to the championship. And after everything WWE has already taken from him, his next decision could be more important than the victory itself. Was Sami's 9-day reign simply a career achievement? Or is WWE building toward the most important transformation of his career? Let us know what you believe Sami should do next.